Hey guys, welcome to part 2 of the beginner tutorial series, and what we're going to talk about is moving, rotating and scaling. So let's start with moving. What happens is you can see all kinds of stuff happening here, right? We have these colored arrows, we have these colored little planes. So let's talk about the colors first. The colors are actually representing our axes. We can also see them here, Z, Y and X. So it's a 3D program, right? So we have 3 axes, and if we click on one of these arrows, so let's click on the blue one, which represents the Z axis, then you can see that it moves around this line. You can see this line come up and it only moves around the Z axis. This happens with every axis, okay? And then we have these little planes here. Those planes actually exclude the color. So if I click on the blue one, it will go around every axis, as you see, except the blue one. So it will not go up or down, which is very handy in some cases. It is annoying to always click on this and start moving like that. So there are a lot of hotkeys, of shortcuts, whatever you can call it. The shortcut for moving our object is, let's call it more grab. So the G for grabbing, G. You can see wherever you put your mouse, if you click on G, from there on, you will move the object. So if you just click G, it is very free, right? It just goes wherever it wants to. So we can also constrain our hotkey to a certain axis. So if I click on G for grabbing around the Z axis, then I just click Z. And now you can see the line coming up, and now it does exactly the same thing as clicking on that little arrow. So GZ, GY, GX. It's that easy. So let's say right now we also want to exclude something, like just like the plane here. We want to move it around every axis except the Z axis. So now it is G Shift Z. And you can see that the Z axis is not lit up, but the other two are. So now we can move around everything. So the shift just essentially just says don't go and then around the Z axis, right? Do not go around the Z axis. Cool. So that is our moving. G Shift Z. Let's go to rotating. Here. When I click on rotating, you have a little bit of different stuff coming up. We have these circles, right? So first of all, we have this white circle. So with this white circle, it literally just rotates around from where you look at the model. So if I rotate from here or here, it will rotate from which axis you look. But if you want to rotate it around a specific axis, now we have these colors again. So Z axis, Y, and the X. It is that easy. So that's how you rotate. And the hotkey or the shortkey is R. Just for rotate, R. And then you can also click Y, or X, or Z. See? And also the shift will work here, but you don't really use that in rotating. Okay, let's go on to the scaling. Scaling is also very important. So you can see a lot of stuff happening here as well. If you just click on the little white area, you will just scale the object, right? If you click on a axis, it will only scale around that axis. So let's do the X axis. As you can see, it will just scale around this axis. Awesome. And also here, it works that if you don't want to rotate or scale around the Z axis, and that works as intended. Awesome. So for scaling, also very easy shortcuts, your hotkey, whatever it's called, S. S is for scaling. And here as well, you can choose whichever axis, scale around the Z axis. Or if you don't want to scale around anything, scale Shift Z. If you don't want to scale around the Z axis, I mean. And those are multiple ways to manipulate our geometry. If you look at the next part, you will learn more about editing our, like really going into our edit tool, like edit mode, and start to extrude some stuff and all that good stuff. So I hope you guys learned something from this. Give the like, subscribe, I will have more content coming up, all that good stuff. And yeah, look down below if you want to look at my website, where I have way more trainings than only this. And yeah, so let's go on.